Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa D'Amico, and I'm the curator of the Global Garden Virtual Art Exhibit. And I'm so happy to introduce you to Alexis Flack, whose work is in the exhibit. And Alexis and I are going to talk about her specific work in the exhibit, but also about her process and her inspirations. And I know you're going to find her as fascinating as I do. So, hi, Alexis. How are you?
Hi, Lisa. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me for an interview today and as a part of the Global Garden exhibit. I'm so excited about it.
Oh, this is wonderful. My first question to you is this. After reading about your inspiration and your process, the information you included with your work in the application, I want to ask you, have you always worked in this technique? And if you haven't, how did it evolve?
So I have not always worked with printing trees. It's within the past year or so I started doing this. I think like many kids, like to use leaves that fell out on the ground from trees or flowers, and I'd use crayons and make rubbings. And I think that is what I did first as a kid, and then and real talk as a grown up also. And then about a year or so ago, my husband's brother had some trees come down in their property. There, storms in the winter and that kind of stuff, and some damage from insects. And so we were at their house visiting, and he had some trees that he was, cutting up to use for firewood. And I was thinking, I've seen prints of trees. It's something I had seen other artists make, and I was always so impressed by their work and so curious. So I thought I would like to learn how to do this. And so I went to YouTube because that's where you go to learn things when you want to real fast, like, how do I do this? And I learned how, and I actually have the tree piece with me that I used in my piece for the exhibit. So my brother-in-law, he cut me this piece, and it's about, an inch and a half big, and I sanded it with an electric sander flat. And then you can see the growth rings in the tree. So I used a blowtorch to bring those out, and then I sprayed it with just a thin layer of polyurethane to protect it from when I use the paint. So I started making prints. This isn't actually the first tree I tried. That one is another one I've used a lot. But I was like jumping up and down and yelping. Like the first time I got it, I did it because I was so excited that it worked. So then I thought, okay, so I can print the trees, but what can I do to add to them to make them each like a small story about nature? I was very fortunate to be raised by parents who were always kicking me outside, like go play, go play, go play. And being outside and running around among the trees and flowers, it was such a part of my childhood. And I think that really shows itself in my art, and how much I really want to take care of this planet that we live on. And I try and use my art as a way to, make that message clear, like this is beautiful and we need to take care of it. So that tree printing evolved that way. And then it has evolved even more since, actually, because I'm now working with layering tree prints on top of each other. And I've just the other day tried printing a tree on a canvas, which was exciting and different, and it like kind of worked. So I need to fiddle with that process, but I love the experience of, learning how to do this. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and that's fine.
That's wonderful. The actual piece of the tree that you used, that piece is beautiful.
It is,
And what
yeah.
you've done to it by torching it, is that something you learned to do or something you tried out? Just.
Yeah, so the tutorials that I watched were definitely talking about using a blowtorch for this, because it really helps you get a surface that you can print on, or use to print. So if you don't, the tree rings are not quite as ripply. Like I can actually feel this with my fingertips. So that was really nice to get that to work.
Wow.
And I also noticed that sorry, I have like glare. There we go. When I blowtorched it, I could see the grain of the tree coming out too. Yeah, and this one's really, really interesting and beautiful. And to me, it looks like a wave cresting, which I wrote about in my statement about my piece. And I don't actually know what kind of tree this is, because it was like this. It was so damaged and beat up and rotted out on the inside. So I don't know. I usually try and write down what the trees are, like pine or ash or oak, whatever happens to come down. But this is a mystery tree. I don't really know what it is.
It's beautiful. Alexis, if you ever do like an exhibit where you're showing your piece and you're showing, that would be fascinating and interesting. And for everyone listening right now, I really recommend that you see Alexis's work in Global Garden, but also that you go to her website, her social media, and follow her on this incredible journey, because it's such a unique approach, and it's so multi-layered in terms of technique and also message.
Yeah, with the technique, it's something that how you said, it's multi-layered. It's rare that I just do a print of a tree and stop there. I do like to do that sometimes, and artists who do that, their work is so beautiful in just, it is an exact telling of a tree, kind of like how we have fingerprints. It's very similar to a tree. But I work in layers, and this is my piece from the Global Garden. And so I just thought, you know, this wave shape of the tree, and the damage that we humans have wrought on our planet, there's been a wave of it. But, you know, my pieces tread gently. And so this little garden that is growing inside this tree, where it itself sustained damage, I thought could really be another layer in the print of the tree. To, like, there is optimism, like there are things we can do. We can make big decisions, big policy decisions. We can make small decisions, take small actions. So I was trying to capture both of those things in this piece. And some of these might actually be real plants. Some are more kind of whimsical plants out of my imagination. But looking for a way to layer multiple ideas into a tree print is something I try and do. And sometimes I really love how they turn out, and other times I look at it and I go, okay, not that one. We'll try again. But it's neat, especially the first time I print a tree after I have, you know, prepped it, because what I hope it will look like, sometimes it looks completely different, and that's really exciting too.
Well, listen, it's been wonderful speaking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing the work that you're doing in the future as well.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate the opportunity.